Our sanctuary is our spiritual home, our refuge, a holy place, a haven from the busy world around us. And like every part of our spiritual life, it too has a story. And to help tell the story, I'm sitting with Bob Parrott, who is the principal architect in charge of designing this wonderful space. Bob, tell us about incorporating the old sanctuary as a part of the new sanctuary.
Yes, well, the original sanctuary was designed and built in the 1950s by my predecessors in my firm. And it's a beautiful space, still remains as a part of this space. And that was a critical element of my challenge in the 80s. 30 years later, when we had grown from 250 folks to way over 1,000 communicants.
Bob, there's some beautiful artistic elements of this sanctuary, and one perhaps that we all appreciate is the stained glass. Tell us a little bit about putting that all together.
The stained glass came along quite a few years after the original chapel, but before the expansion. The stained glass was obtained from the Willett Studios up in Philadelphia, a famous multi-generational stained glass firm of artists and artisans. And the original windows depicted the events in the church calendar. And so the old transept has Christmas, Easter, etc.
Sure.
The events during the year, the liturgical year. So that theme was expanded to add a few more windows to fill in the new transept as well. Those windows were all reused and added to. Then a new series or theme was developed for the windows in the main sanctuary in the side aisles. And these are events in the life of Christ. As you can see, you know, you have his baptism, the children in the temple, the various, the Ascension, etc. Then thirdly, for the clear story windows up high, in those are depicted the saints of the church.
Another artistic element, both artistic visually and musically, is the organ.
Oh, the organ. It's a magnificent organ, and it was a big ticket item in the budget. But there too, John encouraged us all to invest smartly and to get a fine organ. And Carl Wilhelm from Quebec built this organ for this space, and it's a wonderful instrument, and it's a beautiful piece of furniture, which is quite incidental to its purpose, but it fits in handsomely. And as you can see, he left no room to spare in fitting it in.
No. What, 3 inches between the top and the ceiling?
One other thing I might mention, it's a humble part of the composition, but the pews, I designed these pews to fit the room. We were very careful to select a color and tone in the oak that would complement the brick. And then just to top it off, a little dogwood blossom is in each pew end to talk about Knoxville.
Obviously, the dogwood has a spiritual significance, but I think that that's something that, until you mentioned it, I wasn't even aware of that. Right. What a wonderful touch.
Indeed.
You know, obviously you have been involved with many architectural projects during your life and a number of churches, but
indeed, yes.
This must have been a very, very different process, a very much more of a spiritual process to design the church that was your spiritual home.
Well, it was. It was a challenge. It was a humbling experience, but it was also a situation where I had to do my best.
As you came into this space from the older, smaller church, and then an interim where you were in neither space, but we were worshiping across the street because neither space could be worshiped in.
Right.
When you finally came into this space and you saw it open up, there must have been a great deal of joy in your soul. You must have sensed a huge celebration on the part of the congregation.
Well, that's where I looked. I looked in the eyes of my fellow communicants to see how they reacted, and I was not surprised, but I was delighted that they were pleased, that they welcomed the space, they were proud of it, they were happy that they'd had been a part of making it happen. That's really what it's all about.
That's great. Thank you. This wonderful sanctuary is ours to celebrate and to celebrate in. Your gifts, joyfully given, make this possible and make this our haven in the world around us. Thank you.